Welcome to another 10 questions with ADU.
Not 10 questions.
Not
No.
even 10 questions.
No.
A million questions about ADU.
Okay, let's start from the start.
Okay,
Start from the start.
let's start from
Okay, bang. We feel we need to do a video. I think, well, obviously we're doing a video. No, look, we need to do a video explaining you guys, well, for all our new followers that don't know who we are, or all of the long-time followers, I guess, as well.
To be fair, we've actually never done a video explaining who we are, where we're from, or anything about us. And this becomes increasingly relevant to us every time someone asks us something that we think, oh,
yeah, we better fill everyone in on this.
People don't know that we have children. People, it's crazy, but one of the main questions we get asked is, how old are you?
Oh, well, let's just throw this one out there now. I'm 26, and Miriam is 39. Right.
Oh, okay. Actually, I'll take that. I'll be 39. That's fine.
And I'll be 26. I act like I'm 15, but anyway.
So this is going to be, it's not going to be a short video. We're going to try and cover who we are, where we're from, and...
Well, it can't be too long because the battery's going to go flat on the
I know,
camera.
we've only got 2 bars in the battery, so if it cuts out, you'll know what happened. We'll just end it there. We're going to start at the very beginning, and we're going to kind of...
Work our way through, I guess.
Yeah, work our way through, and then we'll answer some questions that you guys have thrown at us.
So this started
at the end.
many moons ago.
It did.
No.
Okay,
All
I'm going to explain what happened first and how we met.
Oh.
It's very, very exciting, very romantic. So I was living in Hobart, and I was very much single. And as you did when you were single back then, I jumped into the online dating world, rsvp.com. And
So Tinder wasn't around back then?
no, Tinder didn't exist back then. So it was rsvp.com, and I had my location set to Hobart because that's where I was living. I changed my location to the Sunshine Coast because that's where I was headed in the next few months. And this one here found me, and I think
As I did, every night I would drink a bottle of wine and jump on RSVP, and I'm just looking,
and
I'm like, ooh,
he sent me a kiss.
who is this hottie? I'm like, I'm onto this one, and your profile did say 6 foot plus. I'm like, I feel 6 foot, so I'm just going to hit it. Just going to send her a message, and yeah.
So that was how we started our conversations, and that was way back in 2010.
Yeah.
And Chris followed my journey from Tasmania up to, it turned out to be Tweed Heads, and I didn't get to the Sunshine
you were
Coast.
telling everyone that the plan was to move up?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. The plan was always for me to move to Queensland. I just had enough of Tasmania. I do love Tassie, but it's just, I'm nomadic at heart, and Tasmania, I'd been there for a long time. It's cold and it's small. It's beautiful, but it just wasn't for me. All my family's still there, so leaving them was hard, but I knew I wanted to be in southeast Queensland, so...
The best place.
Yeah, I packed my 2 kids up and my dog. My dog actually didn't make the journey. I decided that it would be too hard to do with a dog, so I left the dog with Mum and Dad.
We've got a bit of a habit of leaving dogs behind, don't we?
I know, it's a bit sad.
Yeah,
and so
changes.
I packed up the Commodore Bellina, and Chris is embarrassed that I've told you
Don't
that.
say you own a
It was
Commodore.
Commodore Bellina, so I packed the kids and the dog into the car, drove up to Launceston, said goodbye to everyone up there, and then we jumped on the Spirit of Tasmania, headed across to the mainland, and I said to the kids when we got there, where do you guys want to go? East, west, north, south? We could go anywhere we wanted to. We just packed up and we were leaving. And we decided Sunny Coast was where we eventually wanted to end up, so we headed up to Queensland, and I had a date lined up with this guy for, I think, the second week when we got there.
And you were living on the Gold Coast then?
Yeah, I ended up living on the Goldie, and he was in Bayside.
Yep.
And do you want to tell the next part? Actually, I'll tell the little bit, and then you can continue.
Which part?
The part where he rocked up in his... It was a big black truck back then, but it was a black Hilux. It was nowhere near as big.
I've had Hiluxes pretty much my entire life. Hiluxes and Hi-Aces. I raced motocross for a long time, so hence the Hi-Ace to carry the motorbikes.
That was part of the charm too online. He was into motocross and extreme sports, and he was going to show me all the islands on a jet ski, and I was like, oh, this sounds amazing. So he rocked up to my little unit on the Gold Coast in his big black Hilux. And he had his window down, he had his tattooed arm out there. Oh, it reminds me, someone asked us how many tattoos do we have between us.
Let's keep going. You go inside, you're sidetracking.
Got a few.
Again.
Anyway, tattooed arm hanging up the Hilux, and I was like, oh, this is already going well.
Yeah.
And
then my charm, I just got out of the car, and my charm,
he got out of the car, and he was like, and I was like, what?
He ain't 6 foot!
He's 6 foot, but he's cute. And he took me on a day trip to Queen Mary Falls.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a different date. It was a date... it's how we do things.
Yeah.
We just go adventuring.
I think that was a sign of things to come. So we took dead ends and wrong turns and got stuck in mud.
Water crossings
and did all that on our very first date. And then apparently he thought the first date was successful, so he went back to Cleveland and changed from the Hilux to the Chrysler 300, whatever it was.
Yeah, I had a 300C touring back then.
And it was like a wagon, and it was lowered, and it was sign written, and I quite like nice cars and things that look nice. And he showed up in a dinner car, and we went on a dinner date.
That's my dinner car.
To Benihana. So it was all very...
And I was pretty confident, by the way. I'm just going to throw this out there. For the second date that night, I actually brought a bag. I packed a bag because I knew I had her. Come on, mate.
And I don't know if this is romantic or just horrid, but he decided to stay on the second night and he never left.
Oh.
Literally, you would have
my poor home in Cleveland was, it was left abandoned for a little bit because we just got on like a house on fire. We just didn't want to leave each other. We just... Yeah, we were a match made in heaven. Even sometimes I want to kill her when we live in a van, but...
we wanted to kill each other sometimes when we lived in a house.
Yeah. So anyway, this is how we met. We need to go probably way back.
Oh,
way back. So my background, always lived in southeast Queensland. My parents were born in a little country called Mauritius. I don't know if you know it. It's about a 26-mile diameter little tropical island in the middle of nowhere between Australia and South Africa, sort of near Madagascar. Their parents decided to pack up and move to Australia. There wasn't really much of a future in Mauritius at the time. So they came over here. They lived in Melbourne. Everyone came to Melbourne. And then they just decided, whoa, we've actually come from a tropical island. This doesn't really work. So 80% of them moved to North Queensland. They first went to Brisbane and thought, no, this is still not warm enough or tropical enough. So then they went to Cairns. So
were they still pretty much armed?
We didn't get as far as Cairns. We got as far as Brisbane, and that is where I grew up. Southeast Queensland was my home pretty much my entire life. We did a lot of camping on all the islands, and then every Christmas we would go to North Queensland. We'd pack the old HQ Holden and we would road trip it up to Cairns and spend 4 or 5 weeks up there with the cousins and all the boats, and lived on the reef as well. Every single Christmas it was something that we just loved to do, but that was me. Southeast Queensland was where I grew up and spent a lot of time in Queensland. So, yeah.
All right, now for my upbringing. How long have you got?
Yeah.
So when people ask me where I'm from, it's a tough question. So I was born in Tasmania, but when I was young, I'm actually a missionary child, so my parents were missionaries, and we moved to Ecuador, South America. We spent a year in Costa Rica learning Spanish before we moved to the jungle, to the Amazon, or the fringe, the edge of the Amazon jungle, where we lived for a little while.
Tarzan girl,
yes. So that was mum, dad, me, and my 2 younger sisters. And that was a long time ago, obviously. So we spent a little bit of time in the jungle there, and then we came back to Australia, and then we moved back to Quito, which is the capital of Ecuador, and lived there for a little while. Sadly, that's where my 2 sisters passed, and then we came back to Australia for a little while, but we did go back to Ecuador and stayed there for a little bit longer. So my childhood was basically growing up in Ecuador, and we came back to Australia when I was 16. I guess I need to be honest, I wasn't the best missionary child that you could have, and I came back to Australia pregnant at 16 years old, and my son Sam, he's turning 26 this year. So I had a baby quite young, but it didn't stop me. I still went to school, still studied. I used to bring him with me. He used to sit in a little beanbag in the corner, and I completed all my studies, and so that didn't put a dampener on things. So that's kind of how it was with me. I lived in Tassie with...
But you travelled Europe for a bit as well. You saw a bit of the world, which was really nice.
In our summer vacation, we used to traipse off around the place, and little did I know that when we spent time in Europe, my parents were sussing it out to see if we would move there. So I am nomadic from birth from when I was a child. I've been moving around from country to country, place to place. So what we do now is, I guess it's kind of in my blood. So where was that? Oh, yeah, back to Tasmania when I had my son, and then I had a daughter. I lived in Adelaide. We're in South Australia now, by the way. I didn't tell you where we are. We're at Point Turton, which is beautiful, but I spent a couple of years living in Adelaide. Then I moved back to Tassie for a little while, and then, met this one online and moved up.
And the rest is history.
To Queensland. So that's my background. So yes, I speak Spanish. It used to be fluent. My son's father didn't speak a word of English when we were together, and my English was Spanglish, like it was very mixed up. Now I speak English all the time, but I do think in Spanish sometimes. So there you go.
So anyway, that's a little bit of our background. We don't want to go into
tiny-
forever because
tiny-
the battery will definitely go flat.
Yes.
So where do we go from now? How we started doing what we do, I guess,
Well, I
do you
think we need to cover the topic of kids as well, because I did
Yes.
mention that I have a son who's turning 26 this year, so born in 1996.
We have 4 children.
We are a blended family, so people often be like, oh my gosh, you've had 4 kids. No, my belly has only had 2. But
So we have Ayla, who is 14.
yeah.
We have Charlie, who is the next one up. She's 16 now.
16.
We have Cooper, who is the next one up again. He's only 6 months older. He's 16 as well.
well.
And then we have Sam as well, who Miriam discussed before. So,
So
they
he's
all live in southeast Queensland.
So like I said, we are a split family,
Yes,
so
makes it easier that way. Look,
I think we need to cover as well, when we decided to leave, we actually didn't have kids living with us at all. We've been empty nesters for a little while.
I mean, well, we should probably go back to how we started caravanning. That's probably look, we've always camped, and when I'd met Miriam, I sort of hadn't camped for a long time.
I brought my camping gear up from Tassie, which was a tent and a pull-up mattress.
We sort of got out of camping, and I said to Miriam, I was a little bit depressed. Business for me was always difficult. I had a signage company, and I was sort of in the shop fitting side of it. And it was very stressful. I really didn't enjoy it. It got to a point where I didn't enjoy it, and I was sad, wasn't I? So I said, you know what?
He wasn't the happiest of people when we met. Business was not something that was good for him.
No, and I'd gotten out of all my extreme sports as well for odd reasons. I don't know why. And then I just said, you know what? We need to start camping again. We need to just get out and enjoy life, get the kids out there. So decided to build a camp trailer.
No, you're skipping it. We did some tent stuff, and
we did.
And then we bought a second-hand rooftop, one of those ones that
that was probably one of the first fold-out ones ever. That was old.
That was really old.
Yep.
So we tested the waters with some cheaper setups, and then this one here decided he needed a project to start building in
I was bored.
teeny tiny little unit with a teeny tiny little backyard.
So I drew the plans up. How long did I spend on the plans drawing it up?
A long time.
I spent a long time, and then started building. So we were in a little unit at the time. So I started building up the chassis. I built it in the backyard to a point where we had to get it outside now and move it to my parents, or else we wouldn't have got it out of the backyard. So we ended up lifting the whole chassis, bringing it through. Look, at the end of the day, it ended up being an absolute cracker. We dropped pictures and stuff in this video, won't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
It was an absolute cracker. I didn't build I built the entire thing, but bought the tent. The tent was a custom line at the time. So that was $6,000 just for the tent at the time.
We were very proud of our camper
So
trailer.
it was a top quality. It wasn't like a backyard job at all.
It was a backyard job.
So then we used it for a long time. We didn't do big trips. Big trips, as you all know, in a camp trailer. I mean, if you got a lot of patience, yeah, it's great.
The longest we did was 2 weeks over Christmas on Morton Island.
Yeah, but that I'm talking about going to one spot and setting up is fine. You can set up. You know, it would take me a whole day to set the whole thing up properly.
You mean like stopping for
nights?
nights?
Yeah, for doing trips like that, we got to stop every night and pull it out. That's no good. So we decided we wanted to start. Oh no, no. Okay, let's go back. All right. We went through a rough time, and I think business for me, like as we were saying before, got me in a pretty sad place, and I was not happy with everything. And then I tended to take it out on Miriam and the children, and it was really no good. I was in a dark spot, wasn't I?
Yeah,
in a dark place. So Miriam and
I have to say it was hard for me to relate too, though, because I own my own business and I love my business. So I would wake up in the morning all excited to go and teach my job, and I couldn't understand. He'd wake up in the morning and he'd just be angry, and he'd get home, he'd be angry.
Because it was just a battle. It was a battle continually. So Miriam and I went through a rough time ourselves, and we ended up breaking up. So it wasn't a breakup. It was, you know what, let's just go our own way for a little bit, so I could regather and work out what I wanted and all that type of stuff. So the game plan was, I came up with this brilliant idea. She said, you know what, babe, you stay in the house, keep everything set up, and then I'll just go buy a little caravan and I'll just go live in that just for a little bit to work it out, and then we can just sell it and come back and everything's happy days. So I did a bit of research, and I bought a Jayco, which you're not going to believe. We're going to insert this right now.
The footage.
This is the freakiest thing ever. We just came to Point Turton the other day, and we went and said hello to Malcolm and Danny, and then as we walked out, there was people coming to check in, and it was that very first caravan.
It was our very first van.
I freaked. I actually sold it to a guy in North Queensland, and then they bought it off that guy, and they're from North Queensland. So
it's still got the signage on it.
Yeah, it's still got the signage, the custom graphics that I put on it back.
Oh, yeah, nice.
How
is this?
Explain.
Check it out.
Explain. What is this?
This is our very first caravan. How crazy is that?
Those graphics
And it just
on
turns
there.
up to point turn. Look at this.
The
Oh,
original.
the original, the OG.
We were not even in Aussie Destinations Unknown when we had that.
No, we weren't, no.
So anyway, we ended up buying that. I ended up finding one, purchasing it, and packed up everything. And pretty much the very first night, I took it down to Gold Coast. Marion came with me anyway.
Gold Coast Holiday Park, so that's kind of our little, lots of memories at the Gold Coast Holiday Park. The very first night, he went down there with his van, had no idea what he's doing, never towed a van before, never set a van up, never done anything. And I went, he's like, babe, can you come down with me? And I was like, okay.
I was nervous.
He was very nervous. So I went down with him and helped him set it up. And then.
So anyway, that's how it started. So then we ended up just.
It did start like that. And then it ended up that pretty much every weekend I was down there. And sometimes weeknights I was down there too. And then the kids had come down and they loved the Gold Coast Holiday Park. This is great, Dad.
This was the best thing you ever did, Dad. You guys should split up more often.
Dad's got a pool.
Anyway, so that's how our journey started. And then we started doing big trips in it, didn't we?
Big trips in a little van, a 2-bunk van with 3 children.
That's sort of. Then we just. How did Aussies? We need to tell them how Aussies sort of.
We did the big trips with 3 kids in the double bunk van, and then Chris looked at me one day and he said, what are we doing? Like, we are spending all our time together. I'm living in a caravan. He had the big annex. Everything was set up in his van, and I was living in a house. And we're like, should I just move back into the house, and should we buy a bigger caravan? And we did. So he moved back in and bought a bigger caravan, the bigger Jayco. Again, double bunk. Poor Ayla had to sleep on the floor for a little while.
We couldn't find a triple bunk van.
She was tiny, so she fit.
No, Ayla is the most resilient child in the world. She doesn't care.
No, she didn't care.
She'd sleep outside in the grass.
The concertina door used to close and the kids were shut in that back.
Yeah,
back room.
22.6 when you got the bunks and in the bathroom, and there was a concertina door. So
when her feet started sticking out and we couldn't close the door, that was when this one decided you better convert the double to a triple.
Yeah, so I converted it. It was a 2016 Jayco Starcraft.
I'll see if I can find some photos to drop in, but he actually ripped everything out and turned it into a triple bunk.
Yep.
Then we loved our Jayco. That was a really cool van.
It was awesome, yeah.
We did a lot of really good stuff in that, and it was on a trip we went to up to Cairns with my parents. They came with us. And we were sitting under the awning, and we were just saying how much we love this lifestyle. And Chris was saying how much he hated his job, and my dad was getting a bit because he had to go back to work, and Chris had to go back to work, and we all just
when you get on those holidays where you just got to go, oh,
it's over.
We've got half a week left. We've got to go back. We've got to pack everything up. We've got to clean everything. We all got to talking and saying, wouldn't it be amazing if we could do this full time and if we could somehow make money from being on the road, if we could turn this into a job. If we could turn this into a job, it was such a pipe dream. It was something that we never really thought would happen or could happen. It was just can you imagine?
Back then, right now you go on Instagram and there are thousands of little families with names that are traveling and doing stuff.
And it's awesome.
Yeah. That's great, but there was none of that back then. No one had graphics or stickers on their cars. We were like the first people to do that. No one had any of that back then. So it was really a bit of a, okay, let's have a think about it. And the song, we were sitting under the awning, and the song...
Cairns, coconut palm.
In Cairns, and we were listening to the song, Destination Unknown, and we're like, my dad goes, that'd be a great name. And then we kind of had a bit of a think about it and came up with Aussie Destinations Unknown. And at the time...
Which I didn't like.
He still doesn't really like it.
No, I'm not a great fan of it.
But we had his signage company plastered all over the van and the car back then.
Yeah, it was wrapped in my signage company, that's right.
So we got back to Queensland, we ripped all the signage off the car and the van.
And I made the ADU logo.
Yep, the original palm tree logo. Yeah. And then we changed our Instagram handle, which used to be Live It Up Camping Adventures.
And it was just something we did on the side for fun. Miriam just always loved doing this sort of stuff.
Yeah, I used to create people's MySpace pages for them.
MySpace?
Back in the day. So dabbling in social media has always been a bit of a thing of mine. Yeah. I've always edited photos and videos too. That's been going on for like 20 years. Anyway, this just kind of fell into place, and Aussie Destinations Unknown became the handle, and I was like, okay, let's just make a Facebook page. And I love editing videos again, so I've been doing that for a little while. So if you go way back on our YouTube, I don't recommend that you do, unless you want a real good laugh. I've deliberately left some of our very old, very uncool videos on there because it's fun for us to look back at. So it all started then, and I still find it so hard to believe that people think that what we do is so interesting.
Well, it's more about inspiring people, I think, and making people's days. I totally relate to it. When I was in a...
Dolphins.
Oh, dolphins. Oh,
There's
beautiful.
Like 20 dolphins over
there. When I was in that dark spot that we were talking about before, that dark place, I looked at things like that to cheer me up. And I guess that's what inspired us a little bit more to do it.
Yeah, we started getting messages from people saying, we love watching you do what you're doing and you're inspiring us to get out and do the same. And we realised we were having a real impact on people's lives, and it inspired us to step it up and go to the next level and just see what we could do to make...
We knew what we wanted to do, but we knew this was going to take us a lot of hard work and a lot of sacrifice to get to that point where we can go, you know what, let's do this full time. And it was difficult for me because I started following everyone that was doing these big laps, and I knew that, you know, it was very frustrating that we just couldn't do it. We weren't ready to do it. We never... Okay, our goal was to...
We never wanted to do a big lap.
We never wanted to do a big lap. We never wanted to sell up, spend all our money, do a big lap, come back, and come back to our normal life. We didn't want to come home. So we had set out to build who we are so we could do it full time and for a long time.
We've got stingrays,
behind
here us here. And a whole pot of dolphins.
And a whole pot of dolphins right here.
I wish you could see.
You know what? I'm just going to run up to the camera and make sure the camera hasn't gone flat.
He's going to make sure the battery's still running, and we're going to show you the dolphins.
Do you want to see how I run across spiky? Ow.
I don't know how he's doing this without shoes on.
Why is it so far away?
Hi up there on the hill.
We're still filming.
Hey! So Chris, I have to say, Chris pushed me.
Here I am again. I'm probably out of focus.
He was pushing and pushing and pushing to do it full time, and he hated his job. And I was happy to go full time one day, but I loved my job. And I'm a PT, I'm a personal trainer. I was teaching like 24 fitness classes a week. So I would wake up in the morning and go and dress in crazy costumes and dance and sing and do HIIT training and boxing. And of course, exercise makes you look good and it makes you feel good. So
hey, I never exercise and look at me.
So, yeah.
The dolphins come here.
Yeah, it was definitely Chris's pushing that got us on the road now. That and COVID as well.
COVID sent us off a year early. But anyway, we've got to get to that yet, so...
Yeah, I don't even know where we were. We're kind of lost.
Well,
okay,
it was all about not wanting to do the big lap. It was all about to just make this a full-time job. We wanted to make it a job. We wanted ADU to stand on its own 2 feet and be able to fund everything that we do. Yeah. And believe me, it is hard work.
It is hard.
So we get so many, oh, you're so lucky, you know, oh, you know, you're rich, you've done this, you've done that.
I need to point out that while Chris was running his business, of course, I was running my business. It's really hard to run your own business.
Yeah.
And I was doing MimFit, which is my fitness business, which I've still got online now. You can still, join up and subscribe.
Can you see the dolphins right there? Look at them all.
There they are.
I hope you can see them. May not yet. Let them come over more. Anyway,
so my MimFit business is still running. You can still join my classes. You can still do them online. I film stuff when we're around, but it's not the same as being there in person. So I was doing all my fitness classes, all my planning, all my teaching, and on the side and after hours, I was doing all the editing. I was doing all the filming even. I was doing everything for Aussie Destinations Unknown on the side, and I did that for years. So people message us and go, oh, how do you do this? How do you do that? How did you get where you are? How do you, all these things. And it's like, well, I worked probably 20 hours a day on my 2 businesses. Chris didn't have a lot of time then because his business was so consuming. It was
difficult, yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
So, it was just really hard working the 2 businesses, and then we got to the point where we're like, okay, now MimFit, my fitness business, needs to take a back seat, and ADU needs to take over. And
the turning point, that was a difficult transition.
It was really hard because he had to transition as well, which meant his business then needed to drop back too. So we made the decision that we were going to do 4-day weekends.
Yeah. We'd shifted to 4-day weekends.
We shifted to 4-day weekends. So
it definitely didn't come as a light decision. Actually, it was difficult.
I'm not going to say 4-day weekend. I'm going to say it was 4 days working on ADU.
Yes.
And then 3 days working on our other businesses. So that was the transition that we started making, and that impacted a lot of stuff, even our dog. So we had a beautiful dog. Insert photo here. And we had to leave him behind. And when we were doing 4-day weekends. Again, not a weekend, it was work. We would need to leave him with our dog sitter, who's beautiful and who has got him now, because he was so sad when he'd see us packing the van. And a lot of the places that we went to, you couldn't bring dogs. And to be fair, we wouldn't want him there because we work. So it was just too hard. So that was the turning point for us, was when we did the 4 days for ADU, the 3 days for our businesses.
And we just discovered that it was working for us. It really was. So it was time to give it everything. I guess in business, in any business or anything you do in life, if you don't give it 100%, you're not going to get 100% back out of it unless you're seriously gifted.
And that's something Chris has really had to drill into my head too, because I very much
so I said, right, we've got to do it. As soon as COVID had hit, my business stopped on a dime. Like I said, I specialise in retail signage, and retail stopped. Retail closed, as you all guys know. It all just shut down.
It was defitting.
So yeah, I was doing all the defits. That's what kept me busy, shutting down businesses and banks and all these type of things. And that was a turning point. I said, babe, we have to go now. And look, before that, we started getting approached. Like a lot of people commented on how amazing we are, what we're doing for people, and then businesses brands. So we knew we really had something, and it gets a bit emotional for me. And we had to just
again, still I didn't understand. I still don't understand.
We had to grasp this and take it while we could, because this is an opportunity in life that you don't get often. So I just encourage you, if you have an amazing opportunity, grab it.
But you have to do it 100%. And again, this is where it was hard for me, because but COVID is what kicked me up the bum too, because I was teaching 24 fitness classes in person a week, and then COVID hit and no face-to-face classes. So I literally lost my entire business overnight. So again, that's when I started filming all my classes and doing the online stuff and trying to figure out how to make things work in the online world. And he was trying to figure out what to do with his business. And we just said, do we want to struggle to try and recreate our own businesses, or do we want to throw everything into ADU, sell up the whole lot now and go? Bearing in mind at this time, we didn't have any kids living with us.
No.
So, and we did speak to the kids about it, and we said, look, this is what we're thinking of doing. And they wouldn't have wanted to come and travel with us anyway. They made that clear.
They encouraged us. I think we had a lot of support from the blended family and from everyone. I think my parents were a little bit funny about it. My father has, and there's my phone ringing. It's probably not him, no.
Should put mine
yeah,
on.
I think it was, in a lot of people's eyes, this is, as I say again, this is living the dream. This is going on a big holiday. This is, doing whatever, but we can say it again, it's not. It's very difficult. It's extremely time consuming. And look, some days you just feel like you want to pack up and go back to a house and put your feet up on the couch. But we should probably go back a little bit too. We had the Jayco, and it was all starting to work for us, and everything was going well. And for people who have been following us for a long time, we're going to throw this out there now.
Yeah,
for
we're going to be honest with you.
Yeah, for people who have followed us for a long time, you did see that we had a caravan company approach us. Now, we can't name any names because we were threatened, and it was a very... That was probably more difficult for me than being sad with my business at the time.
Hang on, let's just clarify. So we have a lot of people...
They promised us the world.
Yeah. Basically, we have a lot of people say they can't relate to us because look what you've got and look where you are. And it's like we want to explain where we've come from. We know people who have had major issues with lemon caravans and caravans that are horrid and they can't get their money back and they go through all sorts of issues and dramas.
Boy, does it get me angry.
And I tell you, we can relate to you 100% because we have had the exact same thing happen to us. We couldn't post anything anywhere. There was legal contracts in place. There was all this horrible stuff. We are not going to mention who it was. If you've been following for a while, you'll know who
it is. We don't probably need to say anything if you've been following us for a long time.
But this, honestly, again, nearly broke us.
It broke me.
It did. It nearly destroyed ADU. I kept going and kept posting. You wouldn't have seen much of Chris because he was just angry and just hating life.
Yeah, you kept me going, I think.
All the time.
Look, they basically had all our money.
And
our van, because it was so bad, it was shocking. So that nearly destroyed us, and this is how Titanium came about.
Yeah, that's how. Yeah,
Jason from Titanium, mate. I'd give everything I have to you,
like
mate.
Family to us.
You guys, Jace approached us and said, Jace knew what we were going through, and he said, mate, if you ever get out of this and you get some money back, please let us have the opportunity to build you a van. And yeah, mate, it's emotional again. I feel like I'm just I get all funny because, mate, you guys. Without you, I don't think ADU would be where it is as well.
Titanium wouldn't. ADU would not be where we are without Titanium.
And that goes for every brand.
But I need to stress that as well. People go, oh, how do you approach brands and how do you do this? And we need to say that we generally don't approach brands. They approach us, but we have a relationship with the people behind the product.
The product itself.
The product has to be great. It has to be amazing. We have
to love it. We have to believe in and use.
But the people behind everything that we promote or that we encourage people to use or whatever, we have a good relationship with these people.
Anything in business, I think it's about having the right vision. Both of you having that right vision and making dreams, because that's what business is about.
It's like a personal relationship. If you guys don't have the similar foundations and goals, it's not going to work. And that's what we found with the businesses and companies that we work with. I'm not going to say for. It's definitely a partnership.
It's not a sponsorship. I think that is very,
we don't...
very old school. It's a partnership. You know, we work with brands. It's a transaction. It's a partnership. We work together to build whatever we need to do. And every single brand that we work with, I probably wouldn't use any other brand. I think
we're very brand loyal, and we are loyal to the people behind the brand, and
we're very proud too.
We're at the point with pretty much everybody. We are in that area. We'll go and visit them. We'll hang out with them. We'll go out for dinner. We'll go out for drinks. We'll have a beer together. They come see us. We are mates with everyone that we work with. Anyway, we digress. So we were saying we had a horrible, horrible relationship experience with a caravan company. That's how Titanium came on board.
Like I said, ADU pretty much stopped. I didn't want to do the socials.
Every time my camera was filming, it was literally like this. So
I questioned.
So he didn't see it.
I questioned everything. I questioned. You know, do I want to continue to try making this happen in life? You know, it was very difficult. But anyway, at the end of the day, Jason, God sent, he reached out to us, and the battle did finish. How long did this battle go for, from go to woe?
12 months.
And it caused a lot of stress on other brands who had come in to build this van, this so-called...
A lot of rumours spread and a lot of deceptive things that were said about us.
Anyway,
it was
look, we don't need to get into that. So
No.
Anyway, so Jason built us a van. This was another huge turning point. Jason built us an absolutely beautiful van who Danny and Emma have now, and it's just a gorgeous. Everyone at Titanium, the entire crew. And then, okay, we decided this is going to be a full-time thing for us now.
Yep.
So the next step was a vehicle. We had Hiluxes. I've had Hiluxes my entire life. I'm a Hilux freak. I'm actually a Toyota freak. I love it. I've had Toyotas forever. And
up the Bellina, Commodore.
The decision, we always knew at some point we are going to have to upgrade our motor vehicle. You know, it was a step that we had to do to go on the road full time. Look, even if we did have a smaller van, the Hilux had 140,000 Ks on it.
True.
It's not something, like I didn't feel comfortable, even though a Hilux will do 1 million Ks.
Our Hilux, the last one we had, was insane.
It was just something.
It was a good little workhorse.
We just needed to build something that we were going to live in. And look, that didn't come lightly as well. It was a huge expense for us. It was difficult. So what we did was we sold everything. We sold everything that we pretty much have and worked for our life.
We've got nothing in storage. We don't even have a storage container. I've got a couple of boxes this big with a few
photos that my parents have
that I didn't digitize all of them. I digitized as many as I could and threw out as many photos as I could. And I've got a few little things from my kids. And Chris is the most anti-sentimental person in the world.
I don't really care.
His kids would draw him a picture and go, "That's nice, scrunched up, throw it in the bin."
Sorry, keep it over. That's awkward.
So,
no, we sold everything. We don't have a house. We don't have investment properties. We've got nothing. We have thrown everything into what we have. So for the people out there who say, "Oh, daddy's money," or blah blah blah, whatever, not that we really have it that much. We have sacrificed and worked our butts off to what we have, and huge thanks to all of the brands as well that collab with us and make these dreams happen, I guess.
Yeah.
So
that's pretty much who we are, where we're from.
Look, I think we have the ultimate setup. We don't need anything else in life. We are so happy. We couldn't ask for anything more. So I guess the next thing we probably need to discuss is our plans. Yeah. So our plans...
heavily COVID reliant.
This is going to be a tough one for you guys to hear. We are in it for the long haul. We are growing stronger and stronger every day.
No plans of stopping anytime
soon. We are
not
not stopping. We have given this everything. We are working our butts off. We don't always, sit on the beach and sunbake and do whatever. Well, shush. I may do sometimes. Oh, that was a Dolphins person in a kayak.
This is the beginning of 2022, so
yes.
Obviously plans have changed. WA has been stupid, so we are...
Between you and me as well, or between you and everyone that's watching this, we have decided to... This could be a little bit controversial, but I don't care. I'm going to throw it out there now. We have decided to boycott.
Boycott
WA. We are not going there. We have no plans to go there now. We were supposed to be going there, but I don't think it's fair. Last time I checked my passport, it was an Australian passport, and for this guy, sorry for all you WA people, this is not you at all. It's the person who's running your state. We've decided to boycott it. We're not going there. That's it. So he can't treat people like this.
Even when they do open up, we're going to really think hard about whether we're actually going to go there or not. We really don't know.
We don't know how long this decision will last for, but look, as it stands
right now, we're not happy with what's going on. So our political stance is that we are boycotting WA. And we do have a lot going on the East Coast at the moment, so it doesn't really impact us.
We have too much going on. This year, we have a big year. We have a big year.
Yeah, we have to flick down to Victoria. We've got to go to the Titanium Caravans Owners Rally, which we love. Doesn't matter. If we were in WA, we'd still head back to Victoria for that, because that is
We do have an
awesome
extremely exciting meeting that we have on the 23rd of March with... I'm not going to tell you.
Yeah, we've got some meetings in Melbourne that we need to do as well, and then we're going to flick on up to the Sydney 4x4 show in
The Sydney Caravan Super Show at Rose Hill. So please come and say hello, guys, and come and check out the titanium vans that we're going to have on display, because they are absolute crackers.
We're going to have our salesman hats on for the day, and we're going to show you through all the different kinds of titanium caravans that you can purchase.
Yes.
And then we're flicking up to Queensland to see our children, because a lot of you have asked, how are you going without seeing your kids? And to be honest, it's killing us, because thanks to COVID, we haven't been able to see them. So
we could have flown them to... The plan was to fly them to Palubi for Christmas time, but
we
good old Palaszczuk, Queensland...
We just had plans to do lots of travelling with our kids. They were going to come to see us. We were going to go see them. And anyway, COVID's just ruined all that. So we haven't seen our kids for a while. So we were going.
But they're battling on. We're all battling on, and we're strong, and we cannot wait.
We FaceTime all the time.
Yeah.
So we'll be going out, spending some time with family. We've got a few meetings and things to sort out in Queensland. And then we're going to head up to...
We're heading to North Queensland. I don't know what our plans are in North Queensland. We're just heading that way. We may do the Cape. I don't know yet. We're going to head across. And then,
we love North Queensland.
Yeah. And then we will probably... I guess dare say we'll probably head into NT.
Maybe
and from
again.
there, we don't know. Plans are up in the air at the moment, but all we know is we're staying on the east side of Australia. I don't know if you guys have seen the new map of Australia, but WA's cut off it.
Gone. Bye.
For now. So anyway, that's our plans. We are growing stronger and stronger. We are here for the long haul. We love meeting you people. Please, guys, if you want to meet us or come and say hello, zap us a message.
Hello. Yeah,
we thrive off meeting people.
But if we're in the van and the doors are shut, don't knock on the door.
That's caravan etiquette.
Mind
you, some people don't understand caravan etiquette.
Yeah, so don't knock on the door if the door is shut and we're inside. But if we're outside and you see us hanging around, please come over to us. That's totally fine. We love
Question time. Do you remember any questions that people... A was how do we have kids? And yet we've answered that one. It's a difficult one for us, but we're battling on. We're getting stronger and stronger.
I've got you guys asked a few questions, and I did write a few.
A big one was the kids. Another one was keto eating. Well, that's a little difficult. We eat very clean. We try to stay very healthy. So, here you go. So
This first question here that popped up just makes me think that you guys really don't know who we are. Which is again why we've done this, and we encourage you to go back and look at our YouTube videos and look at what we've been up to.
Don't look at the quality of them, though.
Because someone said, "Have you travelled and camped out in the deserts before?" So we just did the Outback. We didn't actually go into the Simpson, but we spent a couple of nights out in the desert out there. So yes,
we've been to both sides of the Simpson. We actually haven't crossed the Simpson, but we've been in the deserts over there. Yes.
Reckon you guys will take the big rig to the Vic High Country?
Yes. I don't know how many tracks I'll fit down, but hey, we'll give it a red hot crack. Look, we built this Chevy. You have the American truck haters and the American truck lovers. We built it as a touring truck. We are not four-wheel drivers. I get no enjoyment out of doing rock climbing or mud piles, or we've built it as a tourer, and we believe that, I believe that I've built an amazing tourer. And this is what we build the truck for.
We do tracks if it gets us to a great spot, but we're not going to destroy the truck to get to a great spot, and we're not going to cry about it if we can't get there, because when we get to where we're going, we've got like an epic truck, and it's a very comfortable ride.
And we have the e-mountain bikes, which gets us to some pretty cool places anyway.
We've got the e-bikes. All right, favourite stop in SA. We are in Coffin Bay, heading south.
Favourite stop in SA. It's all too good.
I liked Lincoln National Park, to be honest.
Lincoln was nice, down Wanted Sand Dunes down there.
Rapid Bay was beautiful.
Rapid Bay's nice. Look, I love the air. Venus was a gorgeous little spot. Talia. Everywhere. The coastline is absolutely insane. Then we went to Pildappa
Stop saying.
Okay,
it's all going to be coming up in the YouTube episodes. How many tattoos do the both of you have?
I don't know, I just got one big one.
One there that says Bailamos, which means let's dance, because I danced a lot with my best friend and we got matching tattoos.
I dance a lot too.
And I have got like a couple of palm trees on my tailbone. A lot of people...
No, let's go back.
It is a couple.
She had a Playboy bunny. Can you guys believe that? How tacky and bad.
I was young and I didn't see it.
Hey? That was probably one of the reasons I want to split up with her, because of that tattoo.
Anyway, now I've got a couple of beautiful
That was a very silly move. At how old?
I think I was like 18. Anyway, so I've got 2 tattoos and he's got
Just one big
big-
one, I guess.
Big
Yeah,
giant one.
Yep.
How old are you both? Oh, we answered that. You're 26, aren't you?
I'm 26, yeah.
Nah, in all honesty, like I was saying the other day, someone said daddy's money. I was like, do you know he's nearly 50?
Hey. No, I'm 46 years old.
Who's
I
46?
feel so young and healthy, and I have a really young mind. I'm the biggest
I
child.
thought he was going to say really young. Other half.
Oh, yeah.
And
No, she's an old bag too.
I'm
so.
actually 42, and I'm turning 43 on Valentine's Day, February 14th. All
right.
gifts are welcome.
Yeah, I don't do gifts.
I'm still waiting for last year's gift.
My presence is a gift in its own, darling.
Oh, there we go. I would love to know your keto daily eating and exercise plan. So exercise, if you can't be bothered getting stuck into stuff and getting deep into it, just get up and do something. Every single day, do something active, whether it's HIIT training, boxing, walking, yoga, Pilates, anything. Just do something
Just
for
give
at
it a red
least
hot crack.
half
Yep.
an hour
Yep.
every single day.
Something is better than nothing. I don't know. We're not going to answer too many questions.
No,
Not a
there's no,
question.
this is pretty much the last one. And
Oh.
then keto eating, just look up keto. Just eat healthy food.
There's a lot of information out
High
there.
fat.
It's just.
We'll do a
Well, not
separate...
necessarily high fat, good fats.
High good. Anyway, we'll do a separate video.
We probably should do a full separate video on that.
Yeah. Do you miss your kids? Of course we do.
We'll miss our kids. Yeah.
And then someone asked, when are you going exploring again? We are actually exploring right now.
We're exploring.
We never stopped.
Yeah, we explore a lot. Our YouTube, we are definitely behind on it. Well, not that we're behind.
We choose not to put things up as we film them. We like to give ourselves a bit of space.
And we just get too much content. We just physically can't.
It takes about 24 hours to edit each episode, depending on what it is.
Yep.
So if we're out exploring for a week, then I don't have time to edit them. So it takes a bit of time to... Of course, you've got to film the content, but then you've got to edit it, and then you've got to get it out there.
So filming, this is a difficult job too. I think people out there think it's very simple just to whip out the camera, do a shot, and then put it into a YouTube video. The amount of, the exploring, which comes hand in hand with what we do, the filming, and there's filming on several cameras, drones, the whole lot, and then after a full day of filming or doing what you need to do, and I guess before that you've got a plan. It's all about planning and trying to tell a story, which is a whole difficult thing in its own, and then every night you get back. My job is to bring all the camera gear in, put it in. Miriam dumps all the footage,
It's sometimes
sift through
taken
it,
out an
files
hour
it.
or so just to file the footage in all
Just
the
to do
appropriate
that.
hard drives, because you've got to have a couple of hard drives in case one corrupts, and
Yes.
then just sorting out the footage from what you've got, and then you have to.
It's a big job, and
We actually get asked. People ask, is it worth starting a YouTube channel for my lap? If you're doing a lap or a year or anything under indefinite, I would say don't even bother
I
with
just
YouTube.
think get out there and just
enjoy
it.
it, because YouTube is really, really hard work, and honestly, it takes the fun out of it. This isn't. I mean, I love what we do, but it's not fun. It's hard work. Lots
And it's a
lots
difficult way to make an income.
If it was just Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, great. That's easy to do. There is it is a little bit of work, but it's not hard work.
Yeah.
YouTube is a lot of hard work.
But
anyway.
I think that's about it. So we've told you a bit about history. We told you, I think we've said everything.
This
And
is us.
ADU is stronger than ever, and we are going to continue to do what we do.
Yeah, and we're kind of
continue
looking
to
into
love it.
getting merch back again, because we've heard your questions. You're all asking
Yes.
when we're getting merch. So
Merch has been a difficult one for us, and it will continue to be difficult. We obviously, because we live in a caravan and a motor vehicle, we can't
carry stock around.
we
with
can't
us.
have all our stock with us. We obviously
So we
don't
just-
have the capital or finances to buy
A
a
warehouse?
commercial property and have all our merch sitting in there with someone to sift through it, post it all, do the whole lot. So we are in the process of looking for a drop shipping company to look after all this for us. This is difficult. We're working on new designs, so our new merch is coming very shortly. We're going to have a lot of it, and we're going to have some really cool stuff, aren't we?
Fingers and toes are crossed about that one. So anyway, if you have any more questions, just always hit us up, let us know, because we are going to do regular little videos with questions that you guys ask. Like someone's asked about our keto diet, our supplementation, that sort of stuff. So I'm going to do a video on that. That's my specialty. I'm a nutrition and dietetics coach, a PT, so I can go into that side of things. And, someone asked a question about, I don't know, suspension on a...
Sorry we haven't done a video on the truck.
Oh, yeah.
That's been a difficult one. The truck has always been something in progress. Building an American truck when we did it was difficult
During
in itself.
COVID.
It's getting a lot easier now to build American trucks. They're coming strong.
We need to
Look
point out, we were going to say we were going to film it when it's done, and it is still not finished. We
Yes,
still
because
don't
we're
have
still
a
waiting on
winch.
parts. We still don't have a winch.
It got stuck at toll.
The guys at Carbon Winches reached out and sent us the new £15,000
Like-
Extreme Scout.
6 months
And
ago?
we sent it in September, I think it was. They sent it in September. on toll, straight to Melbourne, 3-day run. We still don't have it.
Yeah.
So this is, yeah.
So anyway, stay tuned for that one. We will do a truck rundown.
We will do a truck rundown, a quick one, but when we're talking about trucks, watch this space.
Anyway, that was again off topic. I was just saying, if you guys have questions, ask below, and then we can do videos about, if we want to, we'll do videos about questions that you ask us. We feel it's an easier way to answer is by video.
But anyway, this was a video about our personal journey, who we are, what we've done, and our future, and we've nailed it. So thanks, guys. We appreciate all your support. Thanks for watching. Please leave a comment below. Please subscribe. Smash the bell so you'll be notified whenever a video comes out. And I think that's pretty much it.
I think that's it. Okay. All right. Love you long time.
Love you guys.
Bye.
See you later.